Hi students, I'm Dr. Bhavana. In this lecture, we are going to continue with the topic called as environmental issues. So already in the last class, we have started with environmental issues and we are dealing with it. So in the ecology, the most important topic where more neat questions were asked is environmental issues only. Because like so many years and all will be specific, right? In environmental issue like National Forest Policy, in which year it was given, or Water Act when it was given. Like these numerous numerical based questions will be asked in these environmental issues. So we have started with water pollution and its control. So how the water is getting polluted and how we are able to manage it, how we are eliminating, what are the steps we are taking to control the water pollution. Everything we have seen, as well as we have discussed about eutrophication of lakes, as well as accelerated eutrophication, then biochemical oxygen demand, how from one organism to other organism, how is biomechanical oxygen demand varying. We all have seen about all these topics. As well as in the last class we have discussed about the solid waste management. So in the solid waste management, how the domestic sewage or the industrial effluents, domestic sewage means what? Which comes from our homes, all the waste products which come from our homes, or else the industrial effluents which come, all these waste products are usually transferred to a main area that is called as important neat question sanitary landfills. So in this open dumped areas where they are burnt all the waste, simply we are not dumping on the ground. We are creating a surface underground and we are burning and dumping the waste products. If we are dumping the waste in the on the ground, numerous we will get contaminated with numerous malaria and all diseases we will get, and numerous mosquitoes. It is a breed for mosquitoes. So basically what is happening here, there is a like area which is created underground. So how do we do that and all, we have seen in the last class. So we are going to start with, already I have given a brief introduction about the greenhouse effect in global warming. So today we are going to continue with the greenhouse effect in global warming. Three are different topics. Water Act, water pollution and its control. Water Act, when it was given Water Act, I have specified so many times, important neat question. It is 1974. Water Act was given in 1974. Then Environmental Act, like how we are going to protect our environment. An act was passed by the government of India that is called as 1986. 1986 Act. Water 1974. Then this is Environmental Act is 1986. So about that we have completed. Then later we are progressing into the new topic that is called as greenhouse effect as well as global warming. So in the greenhouse effect, when we start, greenhouse effect. In the greenhouse effect, first we should see that from the sun there is solar radiation which is coming to the earth's surface. So there is something that should promote the heating of earth's surface. From there directly the solar radiation is not coming. The heating of the earth's surface is called as greenhouse effect, or else normally the temperature on the earth now it is average suppose 20 degrees Celsius. Wherever you go it is approx 20 degrees Celsius. But when there is no greenhouse effect, or there are no greenhouse gases, or there is no solar radiation that is falling on the earth's surface, what is going to happen is we all will go to minus degree Celsius temperature will be there. So we all can't leave. So there is the importance of greenhouse effect. That is, it is responsible for heating the earth's surface and it is able to maintain the temperature about 20 degrees Celsius. It is not taking the temperature on the earth's surface to minus degrees Celsius where living organisms cannot live on the earth's surface. So that is about the greenhouse effect. So this greenhouse effect is usually promoted by the main four greenhouse gases which are present. What are the four greenhouse gases? Greenhouse gases. Methane, nitrous oxide, N2O, carbon dioxide, as well as chlorofluorocarbons. These are the four main greenhouse gases which are associated. Methane, nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, chlorofluorocarbons. Now, from where are all these produced? Normally, these four greenhouse gases will be present in the Earth's atmosphere. They will be already present. But here, if we are increasing so much of these greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, then it will lead to global warming. Ideally, greenhouse gases should be present. They should be there. If they are not there, it is very harmful to us. They should be there, but in minimal quantities they should be present. If they are exceeding more and more greenhouse gases are present, then what will happen? There will be increased heat surface on the earth. So what will happen? It leads to global warming. We'll see about the global warming, but for now, what are the four greenhouse gases you should remember? As well as the main important point that you should remember here is how are these gases produced, how they are increased in the atmosphere. Suppose methane, how is it normally produced in our earth? Like biogas plants will be there, as well as paddy fields. Paddy fields means what? All the rice where you grow, their fields will be there, right? So they are called as paddy fields. In these, methane is produced, so much amount of methane. So biogas plants as well as methane, as well as paddy fields produce methane. Biogas plants as well as paddy fields. Next, nitrous oxide, N2O. How is this produced? This is also produced by so much vehicles pollution and all. So vehicular pollution, vehicles pollution through vehicles. We all know from small how is carbon dioxide increased in the atmosphere due to deforestation. Means if you cut down so many trees, carbon dioxide will be produced more in the atmosphere. So by deforestation, carbon dioxide is produced. So deforestation as well as massive burning of fossil fuels. Numerous fossil fuels will be present. If we burn them, then so much amount of this carbon dioxide is produced into the atmosphere. So, burning of fossils, fossil fuels especially. Then CFCs. CFCs is chlorofluorocarbons. How are these produced into the atmosphere? So chlorofluorocarbons, you all use air conditioners in your homes, ACs or numerous refrigerators you use. These all will release a special product into the atmosphere, special substance that is called as chlorofluorocarbons. So from ACs as well as refrigerators. So the main important point here you should remember is, first, don't get confused. What is global warming? So what is greenhouse effect? Greenhouse effect means it is responsible for maintaining or heating the earth's surface. So greenhouse effect is necessary. And in the greenhouse effect there are four main gases, that is carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane as well as chlorofluorocarbons. In carbon dioxide, how is carbon dioxide produced in the atmosphere is by deforestation, burning of fossil fuels. Important NEET question they'll ask. How is methane produced? Means massive biogas plants as well as from the paddy fields methane is produced. Carbon dioxide is by deforestation as well as burning of fossil fuels. Nitrous oxide, how it is produced? By vehicles pollution it is produced. Then chlorofluorocarbons. In the chlorofluorocarbons, numerous ACs as well as refrigerators, these all should be burned. Like these all are produced. These all from these main substances only. This chlorofluorocarbons are produced. So these are the four main things which are associated with greenhouse effect. Next, suppose there is incident solar radiation which is falling on the Earth's surface. I'll try to explain it. What is normal ideal greenhouse effect as well as how is greenhouse effect produced by man. Suppose this is the solar radiation which is coming from the sun. This is the Earth's surface. So from the incident solar radiation which is reaching the Earth's surface, from the incident solar radiation, so what is here happening? There is greenhouse gases which are present in between them. Greenhouse gases. What are these greenhouse gases which I have specified you? All the four gases. Carbon dioxide, methane, the two others are chlorofluorocarbons as well as the nitrous oxide. So there is in between. When the solar radiation is falling on the Earth's surface, only half of the solar radiation is absorbed by the Earth's surface. Rest of the half is reflected back. Means you ideally say half is absorbed by the Earth's surface, then 1/4 is reflected back. Half of that is absorbed by the Earth's surface, 1/4 is reflected back. When it is reflected back from the Earth's surface, when it is reflected back to the Earth's surface into the atmosphere, some of the solar radiation is absorbed by these greenhouse gases. Only some is absorbed, maximum is going back into the space. This is the solar radiation which should ideally come from the greenhouse gases. When these greenhouse gases are taking the reflected back solar radiation, they are absorbing some and reflecting some back into the Earth's surface. Don't get so much confused regarding this. From the solar radiation which is coming to the Earth's surface, only half of it is absorbed. The rest of the 1/4 is reflected back to the Earth's surface. When 1/4 is reflected back to the Earth's surface, it is not going into the space. Some of that is absorbed by these greenhouse gases. These four greenhouse gases are absorbing some. So when these gases are absorbing, again they are taking that and again they are sending back to the Earth's surface. This is the ideal greenhouse effect which should take place. But now what is taking place is solar radiation is falling on the Earth's surface. Then some is reflected back, but due to increase in greenhouse gases, if some greenhouse gases are there, only some is taken by them and some is reflected back to the Earth's surface. If more and more greenhouse gases are present due to use of ACs or due to deforestation, greenhouse gases will build up in the atmosphere. So what will happen when these all are increased in quantities taken back by the Earth's surface, like by the surface when they are taken back and when they are reflected back to the Earth's surface, so much of radiation is reflected back to the Earth's surface because greenhouse gases are more. The radiation which is coming back to the Earth's surface is also more. So much and so much is going, taken back, again reflected back. Like that it is taking place in a sequence. So this is the thing which is happening now in the world. Now in the world, so much is happening because of the increase in greenhouse gases. due to deforestation. So much of Earth's surface is heated than normal. If there is so much of heating of Earth's surface than the normal, it is called as global warming, which is taking place. So now I will tell you about the global warming. So global warming. By the name only you can understand in geology. Like global means the globe, warming means you're heating the earth's surface. If there is increase in heating of the earth's surface due to increase in greenhouse gases, it leads to the destruction of the earth's surface. That is called as global warming, which is taking place, and so many scientists are concerned about this global warming which is taking place. So, what are the disadvantages? There is no advantage with global warming. With greenhouse effect, there is so much advantage. That is, ideally, we should get some solar radiation from the sun, or else we all will die without the sunlight. We'll get vitamin D deficiencies and we will die. But if there is increase in greenhouse gases than the normal, it leads to destruction of the earth's surface. That is called as global warming. So in this global warming, basically the important thing that you should remember is disadvantage. This global warming will lead to an effect increase in earth's radiation effect, and it will lead to El Nino effect. Important Neat question: what is the disadvantage which is associated with global warming? Global warming will lead to an effect that is called as El Nino effect. So what is this El Nino effect? So much ice caps and all will be there, polar ice caps, and in Himalayan regions, wherever you go and see the Himalayas and all, so much glaciers, so much of polar ice caps will be there. But due to increase in global warming, it leads to El Nino effect where there is melting of polar ice caps. There will be small melting, all the glaciers will be melted. So what will happen when all the big mountains or big glaciers, when they are broken down due to global warming, due to increased heat surface, it leads to submerging of the coastal areas. Coastal areas, suppose in India, what are the coastal areas which are nearer to the sea are called as coastal areas. Like suppose Kerala is a full coastal area. Then Tamil Nadu, some parts it is a coastal area. Wherever Goa is a coastal area. So these all are due to melting of polar ice caps due to see if suppose you take some ice block and you put in the earth's you take it in your hand, a small ice piece, it will get melted. Why? In the refrigerator if you put it, it is maintaining the coolness and it will not get melted. But if you take it outside, it is getting melted due to the radiation, due to the solar radiation. Here also same, there will be big melting of polar ice caps which are taking place due to increase in heat surface of the earth, and it leads to effect that is called as El Nino effect, that is melting of polar ice caps. So to reduce the global warming, what is the precautions we should take? We should stop deforestation. Maximum, suppose if it is very much required for us to build our houses and all, then only you should proceed with deforestation. Unnecessary deforestation should be avoided. Instead, you should plant more trees, encourage reforestation, eliminate deforestation. So, reforestation means growing of trees should be encouraged, as well as the chlorofluorocarbons release by the ACs should be reduced, as well as we should not burn the fossil fuels also. These all we will think that we should do, but maximum contribution should be taken from each and every one of us to maintain the good atmosphere and to promote the global warming. like to you should not promote the global warming, right? You all should stop the global warming. You should maintain the ideal greenhouse effect which is taking place. By the natural greenhouse effect should take place, not the man-made greenhouse effect. So the global warming, important neat question here you should remember. I want you all to understand the concepts based on this environmental issues. First, we have discussed about what is greenhouse effect, what are the four greenhouse gases, how are these greenhouse gases maintained, how are these increasing in the Earth's atmosphere, as well as we have dealt about the how much of the what is natural greenhouse effect and what is man-made greenhouse effect. Then we have started with global warming. It is due to increase in radiation of the Earth's surface, and due to global warming, there is an El Nino effect which is taking place. That is nothing but melting of solar ice caps, as well as the melting of solar ice caps will take place, all the mountains and all, and it leads to small areas where it is formed. This and it leads to increase in global warming. How you should prevent the global warming is by reforestation, as well as you should stop the burning of fossil fuels, and you should stop the chlorofluorocarbons release into the atmosphere. So this is about the global warming. The another important thing we should remember is ozone layer. Now we will talk about the ozone. So in this ozone, what is this ozone? It is the replica of the oxygen. Means this is seen, normally you see oxygen, right? We breathe in oxygen and all, we take so much of oxygen. So this is the another molecule. If you are adding to the oxygen, this is nothing but ozone. So ozone, it is present in the stratosphere. There is troposphere, stratosphere. Now recently the spaceship was invented, as well as numerous people have gone into the spaceship, right? So until where they have gone, like Amazon CEO and all have gone to the spaceship. So where till where they have gone is till the stratosphere. Means they will be able to see the Earth's surface, the curve of the Earth's surface, they will be able to see. So this ozone layer also is very important for the maintaining of the Earth's proper, or else the solar radiation will come and it will stop reaching the or else we will be susceptible to numerous diseases. If the incident solar radiation is coming directly, there will be greenhouse gases, but there should be a layer which will protect the so much of sunlight from the Earth's surface. There should be a layer. This layer is called as ozone layer. Ozone layer. And this ozone is broken down into oxygen plus a molecule of oxygen. So like this. This is the formula which is given. As well as, or else oxygen plus one molecule of O along with the UV radiations which are coming give rise to ozone. Like this also you can write this mechanism. So basically, where is this ozone layer located? It important points that you should remember. Ozone layer, it is the protection for the Earth's surface. From where it is protecting the solar radiation, which is highly intense solar radiation, it should not reach the Earth's surface directly. Only some amount should reach. So when some amount of sunlight is reaching the Earth's surface, there should be a barrier between the sun and the Earth. That is nothing but ozone. It is present in the stratosphere. Ozone is broken down into oxygen plus one O molecule. Oxygen plus one O molecule plus UV radiation give rise to ozone. It is about 15 to 20 kilometers from the Earth's surface. Earth's surface, from there it is 15 to 20 kilometers above the Earth's surface, this ozone layer. As well as this ozone layer thickness should be measured. Based on this thickness only, you will be able to calculate how much of the radiation is reaching the Earth's surface. So thickness of ozone layer which is present should be more. How much thickness it should be there? How do you measure from the ground level to the atmosphere? The ozone layer is usually measured, the thickness of ozone is measured in Dobson units. Important neat question. How is ozone measured? It is measured in Dobson units from the bottom of the Earth's surface to the topmost layer. It is measured through Dobson units. Important neat question. What is this Dobson units? Also, you should answer because last year NEET also it was asked. Thickness of ozone layer is usually measured by this. So that is the important question that you should remember here. As well as thickness is more, so much of thickness is present in the ozone layer. Near the poles, thickness is more than that of equator. See, by small simple logic you can understand. Where is thickness more of ozone? Where it is thickness more? See, it is more in the poles. That's why in the poles you don't see so much of sunlight. But in the equator, suppose India, do you see in Rajasthan so much of sunlight? Or in Jammu and Kashmir you see so much of sunlight? In the equator, because thickness of ozone is more in the poles than near the equator, and it is measured in units called as Dobson units, du. You say the thickness of ozone. So the thickness of ozone usually, why it is increased, like ozone, why this ozone layer should normally be maintained, so much of thickness should be there, but it is getting depleted by man. Why? By what it is getting depleted? By chlorofluorocarbons, which we have discussed, the greenhouse gases. How chlorofluorocarbons are important from ACs and all, so much of chlorofluorocarbons are released into the atmosphere, chlorofluorocarbons. So these cause damage to the ozone layer. Chlorofluorocarbons cause damage to the ozone layer. So what is happening? It is more in the Antarctic region, Antarctica, a famous place in the world, Antarctica. So there already a ozone hole is created due to increase in chlorofluorocarbons, a ozone hole. Ozone hole means what? In the ozone layer, a small hole is created. So that what happens? The sunlight is directly entering into the Earth's surface. When sunlight is entering into the Earth's surface, the hole which is called as ozone hole. So what is happening when the sunlight ozone is entering into the Earth's surface through ozone hole? Sunlight is entering. What happens? It leads to dangerous diseases like UVB radiation. The radiation which is falling is called as ultraviolet B radiation. Ultraviolet B radiation. So this ultraviolet B radiation, what it is doing? It will cause damage to the DNA molecules which are present. We all will have a DNA as well as numerous substances in our body. When the solar radiation, so much amount of heat is reaching our humans, it will damage the DNA. It will cause the molecules to break into simpler molecules. So much bonds are broken down, and it leads to inflammation of cornea. Inflammation of cornea means where it is present, sclera, cornea. With this we all have discussed in the eye. So it leads to inflammation of cornea as well as cataract diseases due to over sunlight which is entering, because they are only the sensitive cells in our body. So it causes a main thing that is called as inflammation of cornea. Inflammation of cornea is called as snow blindness. Snow blindness. So these are the disadvantages when there is ozone hole which is created in the Earth's atmosphere. So to prevent all this, We all should stop the use of chlorofluorocarbons, stop the emission of ozone substances, depleting substances. They have already passed a act that is called as Montreal Protocol, which we will discuss in the next class. We will continue with the ozone layer, ozone, as well as about the deforestation, reforestation, and all also we will continue. So now you should understand the important point here is simple. Ozone layer will be present, which is covering the Earth's surface from the so much of sunlight. And this ozone, how it is broken down, how is this combining with UV to produce ozone. The thickness of ozone is measured in Dobson's units, and there is a ozone hole which is created in the Antarctic region due to increase of use of chlorofluorocarbons. Due to the increase of ozone hole, what will happen? The direct radiations from the Earth's surface, UVB radiations, are falling on the Earth's surface, and what is happening here is it leads to snow blindness. Snow blindness, that is inflammation of cornea as well as cataract. Then there is the important point here you should remember is the thickness of ozone is more near the poles than the equator. That is the important points. Next we will discuss about the Montreal protocols and all in the next class. Okay.